welcome to Busted Speakers. I'm Kush,
And I'm Alex.
and today we're reviewing Silver Eye by Goldfrapp. So Goldfrapp is an art pop musician since like early 2000s, I would say, who's been putting out albums that have been doing really well actually, critically and in the public eye.
Yeah.
So this is her most recent album. It's a very art pop, very electronic heavy album, and I the first half of the album was not doing it for me for some reason. The first 4 songs, I would say,
Right.
I just couldn't get into. But the last 6 or so songs I really did like. I think they were much better than the first 4. The first 4 seemed kind of dated, kind of generic in terms of sound. I just couldn't get into them.
Well, a lot of people are saying the first 4 songs, and in particular this first song, Anymore, are like blatant attempts at very commercialized pop, which isn't anything new. Goldfrapp, Allison, and our other musician, I don't know the name of, that make up Goldfrapp. Really commercial pop before Diff. So yeah, they're a weird like style over substance band at some times, but I really like them.
I do think they generate
Album.
they do generate some really cool sounds and effects and stuff like that. The first 4 songs were just so generic commercialized pop that I just couldn't get into them.
Right.
Which is almost half the album for me, because like it's 10 songs, so like half the album I couldn't get into.
Oh. I like them though.
But
Probably the weakest song on here because it's I don't know, it feels like the most generic, typical Goldfrapp song to kick us into it, but she sounds quite good vocally considering she's like 50 as a frame of reference for pop artists to still sound remarkable at singing good. I guess because like some of my favourites like Paul McCartney and Bob Dylan got quite bad at 50, I guess. But yeah. So I was impressed there.
I think the song I liked least, well, Anymore was one of them, and Tiger Man was the other one.
Yeah, I didn't like that one too much. Slower track that I wasn't really feeling it, but I do feel like it slower than Systemagic.
Systemagic had a very Depeche Mode-esque vibe to it, didn't it?
Yeah, I really like that one. It's probably the best of the first 4 songs.
Yes,
I really liked it. It's so good.
But my problem with Tiger Man was that she sang in such a high range that you couldn't make out what she was saying firstly. But it got very repetitive, because this is I think one of the 5-minute songs, and it got very repetitive over and over, saying Tiger Man, Tiger Man. I got kind of tired of it.
Yeah, but Systemagic, as we were saying, is like this is art pop basically, but this is stretching the meaning of art in terms of pop as far as it will go to still be pop instead of really experimental pop.
Yeah.
Really great groove, glitchy electronics, which sounds even quite mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Anymore. I love how solid the bass and the drums work together to make a really great groove. Maybe it's because I love funk music, but get a great groove on a track, and that's me locked in to enjoy it.
But for me, the album really just took off after Faux Suede Drifter.
Yeah.
That and everything.
I agree.
Everything after that, I just loved every sound of it. So the song Faux Suede Drifter was like, I was like, the first time I was more in love with this album because like they're more ambient, ethereal productions, and like the vocals are still really old school given that she is 50 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just, the pacing and build up of that song was really, really good, and just a really gorgeous piece of music. And then every song after that, for the most part.
Well, Zodiac Black is probably one of my favourite songs of the year, one of the best surprises I had.
Yes.
Because I was going into this expected to like it. I like Goldfrapp, but this is so alluring and enjoyable in a way I'm finding hard to explain. I will try anyway. The low glitch drone, and there's like some dissonant, ominous instruments, but the main thing I love is Alison's like truly otherworldly vocal performance. she sounds so good, so soft and light, but she commands such a presence and attention. It is like, it isn't loud, but it's such a little song, but it sounds so big. It's kind of ambient pop, but like I say, one of the best surprises of the year, that one.
Yeah, that song was probably one of my favorite. That was one of my favorites as well. Like,
Yeah,
I just like the lyrics about it because of like child wonderment and like how big is the ocean and what it contains, and it could be
that's true.
it could be metaphorical, but I really don't want to climb down that rabbit hole because like it could be literally anything at that point. But I took it for face value, and it was just about, I think it was about child wonderment, and I think it was just a really beautiful song because I was very surprised with like, before it was very like highly produced, highly just glossy sort of beats and production, and this song is very laid, very stripped back, very minimal, and just lets the vocals shine through, which is probably just a good contrast with the rest of the album.
For some reason, I found it hard to focus on most of the lyrics on here, mainly because I was enchanted away by the atmospheres, definitely.
Yeah, the lyrics on most of these songs were nothing noteworthy. In some of the songs, I want to say "Ocean," the closer, probably my favorite song on this album. Yeah. The closer is gorgeous. I love the closer.
Pretty nice song.
So, but she talks about serious topics about like she's not able to find herself, so she puts on these other clothes and other skins and other hairstyles and whatever to feel like someone else, and then she ends up getting lost in that fantasy and forgetting who she really is and just playing this character the whole time. And she sings with such passion and empowerment, and like it's really just kind of mesmerizing and kind of like awe-inspiring. But she also, like, the way she sings, you can tell she's lost something. And it's a very emotional, powerful closer. And I think it was just one of the better songs on this album.
Definitely. I like that one. Here's the thing. You generally like the more atmospheric, slower tracks on here.
Yes.
Then the song Everything Is Never Enough was actually similar to the first four, but did you like that one anyway?
I thought it was okay. That song, right. I liked it, but I don't think I would ever see myself really going back to that song.
I'm going back to it. It's a dance jam that I can get behind.
No, I liked it because I even wrote that the production is very upbeat and lively, and I like her vocals, but they do seem a little synthetic on that song. And but she sounds good, and I enjoyed that piece. It's just that I couldn't really see myself ever going back to that song.
Well, the thing is, we had a full Suede Drifter, Zodiac Black, and Beast That Never Was, which is another great song, obviously. And then that like just kicks in out of nowhere. There is a good surprising amount of variety on here. I could see it being one where a lot of the songs sounded the same, but they go through different speeds, different tempos, and this is like a breath of fresh air. Even though I loved the songs before, the sequencing on this album ever is amazing. Like, even if you're not the biggest fan of the first four, which I still think you think are okay.
Yeah, the sequencing was a really good aspect of the album, because like a lot of times you'd think they'd probably get lost in like making a whole bunch of songs and then kind of getting like just mixing them all together and just kind of like just gluing them together where they don't always fit. But this one, I would say it worked pretty well. I wish they would have spread out some of the, because they had 3 more slower ambient kind of songs in a row. I wish they had spread that out to the first 4 songs.
They could have done that, but and even Tiger Man's a bit slower as well, even though it's still kind of fast paced, but it's a bit slower.
I just really couldn't get behind the first 4 songs. It got to the point where I was almost like really turned off by that, but then I'm like, let's just finish the album. It's pretty good. It's not the worst thing I've heard. Yeah. And then the last 6 or so songs were just really saved the album.
We haven't talked about it, probably because it's one of the first 4 songs, even though I like quite a bit. Become the One. Just one thing that was a bit weird is that she sounded really androgynous. Like, she didn't sound like a woman or a man.
Well, that's funny. It's funny you say that, because I watched an interview with her. I read an interview as I was listening to this album, and that song is about transitioning and transgenderism.
Oh, right.
because it's talking about become. She says like become the one who you really are. So she's talking about like if you're a man, you feel like a woman, become that person, be who you want to be who you are. And I guess that's funny you mentioned that because it really does just exemplify what she's trying to say on that song.
So it makes complete sense so that it has like genderless sounding vocals.
I mean, I guess, yeah, but I think that the message behind that was pretty good, even though it did get kind of repetitive over and over again. But it's pretty.
I mean, I knew it was her singing it, so
course,
I knew
yeah.
it was a female vocalist, but she sounded like she could be like Kraftwerk or Grace Jones, which were also kind of dead voiced.
Yeah.
Actually, like thought that song was pretty decent. So yeah, solid tunes enough for me.
I enjoyed this album. What would you rate it, Alex?
I'm gonna give it a 7. Like I say, they stretch the meaning of art pop to the absolute limit. With a lot of this being very arty, but very relaxing, soothing. There is a lot of style over substance in a few cases, but I think the substance, the real meat of the tunes, breaks out, and she blesses us with some irresistible and fun stuff. They're as good as they ever have been, which I'm glad to hear, basically.
Yeah, so because of the first 4 songs, I was kind of like turned off, and I guess like you liked them more than I did, obviously.
Yeah.
I was just not a big fan of them, but the second half of the album did save this album, and I really enjoyed the second half. Besides that, I just think that she's definitely made her mark in the industry. Like people know her, people know Goldfrapp for what they do, and I think if you're a Goldfrapp fan, you're gonna enjoy this album regardless. It's a bit more commercialized than some of her other stuff, but I still enjoyed the
Definitely.
I still enjoyed the majority of it, and even the ones I didn't like, there were still aspects that were really good to it. So for me, it's a 6.5.
Well, you should try out the album Felt Mountain, which is their debut, which is their most acclaimed and definitely sounds a lot like the type of tunes on here you liked, like the slower. That has like jazzy, weird songs. Like, I don't know, it's really good.
I'll write it down and check it out.
Nice recommendation to each other.
Well, if that's it, then thanks for tuning in to Busted Speakers. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked, well, if you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe. You know, I'll get it one day, Alex. Don't worry.
Breaking the illusion of us being professional.
If anyone
Don't
thinks
worry.
this is professional,
They know what to do.
go check us out on Twitter or something. Okay, have fun.